I'm Lisa Sanders, and I'm a singer-songwriter, among other things. I like to create things, with art, with different things, but mostly I'm a singer-songwriter. Been doing it for about 3 decades now.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah. Make records, put them out. Well, anymore they're albums or CDs or whatever, but lately they're records too. We're back to having records.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, my
yeah.
21-year-old definitely is a fan of the records. So it's trending with the millennials for sure.
Yeah, I have quite a collection myself, but it's from old school, and moving forward.
Sure.
Yeah, kind of never stopped.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. And I know I have had the pleasure of hearing you sing personally. I met you through our mutual friend, Misty Young. So I've had several opportunities to see you and hear you perform both at her house, and then we've done a couple of, things together, just trying to figure out how, Instagram works and try, you and I are both in the same boat. We're like,
Yeah.
this is just a lot of movement going on right here.
Yeah, the business of the business is,
Exactly.
yeah, it's a learning curve, and now everything has gone tech. So now I have to be a techie too. I've got equipment, cameras, lights, and trying to figure
Right.
out Instagram
Right. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
and TikTok and, Facebook. And yeah, it's kind of mind-boggling, but it's good to
Absolutely.
grow. It's made us have to use our imaginations and our minds, and that's good. I think
Yeah.
it doesn't always feel good at the time. Learning is frustrating for me. I say a lot of expletives. I'm like, oh,
Yes.
bleep, bleep, bleep. What the,
But we're learning. We're figuring it out.
yeah.
I love it. So, what drew you to songwriting and performing? I mean, that's something that, has never been in my wheelhouse, mainly because I think someone in an early age said, please don't sing, or something related to that. But, where did that passion come from?
I had a really cool brother. He's since passed on, unfortunately, but when we were kids, it was just the two of us. And so we had to kind of use our imagination while our mom was off working, you
Yeah.
know. And so how we did that was music. She brought home a hi-fi and we had little 45s and we would
Yeah.
listen, and I'm a bit older, so we remember watching Ed Sullivan when the Beatles came. The first time the Beatles were, and I just can't get out of my head. I saw it. It was, oh my gosh. And you're gonna think this is crazy. My favorite TV show when I was a kid was Flintstones. And
Perfect.
yeah, and they always had music on, you
Yeah.
know. It was really cool. They had Anne Marg Rock, Twist, Twist, and it was always
Yeah.
some kind of music going, happy anniversary, all kinds of wacky things. And I went, I like that.
I
You
love that. I love
uh,
that. I mean, you definitely hear the classic, I was inspired by the Beatles, or I was in, whatever that might be. But I've definitely never heard the Flintstones, and I love that. I definitely
yeah,
grew up with the Flintstones too, and every time you moved to a different song, I can hear it in my head exactly the way
yeah,
it was played. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I just, we just loved music. My brother got a little transistor radio and we would listen to it and then go sing when we were little kids out with all the other kids on the corner
Yeah.
in Philly.
Your
So
own
I've,
version of karaoke.
yeah, our own karaoke, and I don't know. It's in my bones. You go roller skating. I can remember going to the skating rink at the Catholic church on Friday nights, and we'd be dancing, and the Supremes would come on, Motown songs while we were dancing. to in our skates, with our skates on,
Yes.
we'd be like going, yeah, going around the roller rink. So yeah, just I've always had that feeling that music was something that touched my soul. If I hear it, I gotta move.
Yeah.
I can't. It's so that inspired me. I didn't, I thought I'd be a writer and not a singer, but it turned out I'm a singer and a songwriter. So
Because you excel at both.
yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, totally. Totally. So what are some of the types of music that you like to perform the most?
um, you know what? That's really a good question because I really never thought about it. I just kind of go, oh, I like this song. I think I'll play it. And
Yeah.
a lot of times, being a writer, I write them, but I don't know if they're going to go over or not. So I'll say,
Sure.
hey, do you like this song to the audience? And if they like it, I keep it, you
Yeah.
know, and that's usually the way it goes. I really don't think about it in terms of what type of music. I know what type of music I like to listen to, like everything, but if it's good, I like it.
Right.
So, and that could mean, all kinds of levels. But yeah, I never really thought about it.
You're
I,
like,
I
does it make me move or does it move me?
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it's either or. So it's not really the type, but the feeling and the expression of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Uh,
it's definitely a tough industry for sure to stay consistent in and be dedicated to creating a life with. How do you stay focused and dedicated and determined to do whatever it takes to make that happen?
I'm nuts.
All of us entrepreneurs are a little on the crazy side.
Entrepreneurs are a little nuts. Everything changes, just like in business. Like, you have ups, you have downs, and you have to have perseverance, I think, and a drive to see your dream come true. I think that's at the core of it. It's like I want to quit all the time. In fact, this morning I was thinking I'm done. I'm just not going to try anymore. Like right before I got online with you, I
Yeah,
was driving, thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know if I could do this anymore. And I get like that, and I get those moments where I just don't know. But something crazy happens when I get there. I know, okay, I'm at my bottom. And that means on the other side of it is something way better than I
yeah,
could have thought. You know,
yeah,
if I'm ready to give up, that means there's something good coming. So
yep,
yeah, right. So that's what pushes me like through it, because and then I have support. I have people like you who say, hey, we like what you're doing, will you share with us?
yeah,
And that in the sharing of it is the thing that also keeps me going. It's like, what do they say, you can't keep your light under a bushel. you know
right,
you have to let it out, and in the letting it out, then that's when you get the strength back to keep
absolutely.
forward. So it's like I always have ideas, and getting them out is always sometimes is a little bit challenging. I would say I don't like to say that things are hard. I don't like to use that expression. I like to use, oh, it's interesting, or it's a bit challenging. And then for me, reframing my words in my mind and in my heart keeps me going.
Yeah,
I might want to give up, and really give up if I say this is too hard. So that's another thing that I use for myself to keep me moving forward. And because every business is crazy. Our business we lost every venue that we ever played in
yeah,
for us being even not giant megastars to the megastars. You know,
yeah,
yeah, Bruce Springsteen can't go play a stadium. He can't, you know. And so we've really lost, 90% of our business, because through being live, we also sell merchandise. We also connect with new fans and get, new momentum going and new opportunities, because somebody in the audience said, I can't tell you how many times that I've been like, you saw me play,
Yeah.
and so I'm here.
Yeah.
you know and you get that big connection when you get to play live, and that's no longer, for now,
Yeah.
uh, the way we can do business. So that in itself can be a little challenging. I think the really cool thing, I know this is going to sound crazy, but in 2008, we had a giant crash,
Mm-hmm.
right? And everybody in business had a hard time. Well, before that, the music industry had a giant, catastrophic, almost decimated crash. Is where everybody started to download our music for free.
Yeah.
Napster, and it devalued everything that we did, and it was devastating.
Yeah. I remember that whole thing.
Yeah, right. So we had to find another way of monetizing so that we could keep putting music out, because it costs it costs thousands of dollars to produce music.
Yeah.
I can't even, millions sometimes for some people, big
Sure.
stars, you know, and everything that goes with it. You got to pay a PR machine. You got to all of these moving parts that have to be fed with capital. And when we lost that ability to be able to make a living, um, that made us step back and gave us the opportunity to catch up to technology, or we had to start doing different platforms. And it was hard. Even the major labels had a hard time trying to figure out, how are we going to step up to this new platform that is now online,
Yeah.
and these downloads? How are we going to survive this, and monetize what we do so we can keep going? And that was a huge lesson. And so therefore, this time with the COVID, I think we were a little bit more prepared to at least pivot
Yeah.
and go, okay, we're kind of already online. So how can we do performances online? How can we, now everything's pretty much online. So
Yeah.
that's been a big challenge. I still haven't really learned how to monetize that. For me, I'm still kind of going, I don't know how I can keep doing this. I have a record in the can that I paid thousands of dollars for, and I can't, I can put it out, but I can't support it.
Right.
So
Right.
so therein lies the situation where I go, okay, how do I keep going? So that's kind of real where I'm at right now, is trying to, figure it out. And I will. I mean, it'll be okay, because I know we've been through in our businesses, and I'm not alone. I mean,
No.
restaurant person to the hairdresser person to what you do, we all have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so we're not alone. So that's another thing that keeps us going. The networking, the support we have in community, be it whatever platform we're on as an entrepreneur.
Yes. Yeah. I love that you are self aware and secure enough to express your vulnerability to say, I don't have it all figured out. Like, I'm working through this with the rest of you. Because I think so many people are afraid to say that out loud, that they don't have it all together, like it puts them in some kind of a bad light, when
Yeah,
really it just helps us all band together when we're
yeah,
willing to be like, I have no idea what I'm doing right now, but I will figure it out.
Yeah, that's the truth. I don't know. I don't really have any secrets. So for me, I just, it's like somebody asked me a question, I'm just gonna tell you.
Yeah,
So I think for me that's kind of cool because then I get kind of assistance on help. You that person, somebody on the other side of it will say, oh my gosh, I know how that feels, and this is what I did, or this is what we can do together, or this is how we can support each other. And and I I'm a strong believer in a team, and having support. And if I don't know something, I better ask.
yeah,
you know um yeah, my friend's dad always say, don't walk around with your nose all snotty, ask somebody.
right, right. Uh, this goes out to all of those people who will not stop for directions. It's
Yes.
okay. Ask for directions. I love it.
Or, yeah, in that you may avoid a crash.
Yeah, exactly. Or at least save yourself considerable amounts of time, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes, considerable amounts. An argument in the car.
Yeah.
With
I know my husband and I bought an RV a few years ago, and so when I pull it with my truck, so I'm the one that's typically driving. But I tend to get like I want exact instructions. I want to know exactly where the fence is and exactly
yeah.
where I'm going. And he's kind of a soft-spoken to do. So I got us a pillow that goes in on the bed in the RV that says, I'm sorry for what I said when we were parking the camper.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah, I
That's kind
figured
of
an apology ahead of time would help us tremendously. Like,
yeah. Well, that's awesome. That everybody should have one of those for everything, you know.
right, right.
But
I'm sorry for what I said when.
I I I love it when people talk about their camping trips with their big giant trailers, and it is so funny. It is
Yeah,
so cool. And it's such a snapshot of life, you know.
totally.
And I don't know. I was listening to Jimmy Kimmel, and he took a vacation during COVID in an RV, and he happened to have Goldie Hawn on. And Goldie Hawn was talking about how Kurt and her, Kurt just had to buy a camper for the family. And oh, it was hysterical. I was laughing so hard of all the mayhem that went on
Oh,
just trying to get your trailer, you know. It's
there
it's
is
it's
always mayhem.
yeah.
All these people out on Instagram who show this perfect serene RV life. I'm like, oh, it's not like that. It's only like that once you're all hooked up and you're driving down the road, or once
Oh,
you're all hooked up at your camping spot. But it is not serene like that in the interim.
I could write a whole sitcom over that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's so cool. Yep, it just getting directions and knowing where that fence is, and if you got to pass the squirrel on the road is really helpful.
Right, exactly, exactly. Well, would you do us the kind favor of playing for us a little bit?
Oh wow, yeah. I'll play. Can you see my guitar? I
I
can't tell.
can. Yeah.
Great. I can't see what I'm doing. I don't know what to play.
Whatever is on your heart, I'm sure will be perfect.
I don't know if this is too slow. It's kind of a love song. And well, it is, but it's also about adventure.
Perfect. That sounds ideal.
It's about all this kind of stuff. Let me see. It goes like this. It's called Shiver.
Okay.
I've been a foreigner in dangerous places. I've been the one who's all. I've been a champion for social injustice. Carried the banner for unpopular causes. And did it all without a care in the world. I played the martyr, marked by scarlet lead. I've been the one tied to the tree. I've rushed into the burning building, saved the babies from fiery blazes, and never worried if I get touched by the flame. But you make me shiver, and I can't stop shaking for the strength of your love. I've climbed mountains, no harness to catch me. I've been the one out on the ledge. I've jumped from planes, no parachute to open. Hit the ground, no bruises on me. And went back up to the sky, do it all again. But you make me shiver, and I can't stop shaking for the strength of your love. There's no one who scares me like you do when you say those words that you love me too. Suddenly you're the only one I care about. There's no fear like when I'm with you, makes me surrender all that I do, makes me give all my love to you. 'Cause you make me shiver, and I can't stop shaking for the strength of your love.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing your gift with us. I know that definitely won't do you justice, on a recorded call. But I'm telling you, I have heard and seen you in person. I have loved you ever since. Definitely keep following you. So you definitely have my support, and I appreciate you coming to chat with me today.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's been awesome. Thanks. I'm so glad we met.
Me too. Thank you so much for tuning in to the My WHIM Life show today. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a moment of the goodness.